Hello and welcome to the Filmspeak podcast. My name is Dave.
And my name is Amanda.
And today we're going to be talking about Amanda's top 3 movies.
Woohoo! But first, how was your week?
It was good. I'm a little bit congested, so that's a thing that's going to be affecting this podcast today.
Yeah.
But I took some allergy medicine and I drank some elderberry stuff, so hopefully it won't be much of an issue.
I didn't know elderberry helps with congestion.
It helps with all kinds of cold-like symptoms and things like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Helps your immune system, or so I've read.
Well, did you at least watch anything while feeling congested?
I did. I watched one movie this week, which isn't a lot compared to all the movies that I do have. I watched the movie Moonstruck for the first time. I'd never seen it. I'd heard many good things about it. I liked it. I thought that all the actors did a good job, obviously. But yeah, it was a good story. I really liked Olympia Dukakis' character. I thought she was probably the strongest character of the whole family. She kind of kept everybody together when everybody is trying to sow their oats, I guess. And then the grandfather was really awesome too, with all the dogs. That's how I want to be. Just with a pack of dogs roaming the streets, yelling at them in Italian, being awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but I probably should at some point.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage,
I
before
forgot
he was extremely over the top. He was a little over the top in this one, but you could see kind of where he was going with his with his career trajectory. But yeah, it was a good movie. I would recommend that you watch it.
Cool. Well, I watched Boogie Nights for the first time, and that was really something.
That was something that I've never seen before. I've seen parts of it, but
Right.
I haven't seen it the whole way through.
You should. Yeah, no, actually, you definitely should. I'm actually surprised that I liked it as much as I did. I wouldn't really call myself that much of a Paul Thomas Anderson fan, but I also didn't realize that he directed it until I was hitting play on Netflix and saw it in the description. Yeah. And it was really good. Mark Wahlberg did an awesome job, and he also used to be like a total babe. But
there are some people who still think he's a total babe.
That's true. I don't think he is anymore, mostly because he's in that new Patriots Day movie, which, the trailer makes me want to die, so... But yeah, no, it was really good. I actually watched it in 2 parts because it's 2.5 hours and I had stuff to do. But when I watched the ending, it was really awkward because it's the part that people remember most about the movie, where, sorry if this is a big spoiler alert for you, but he's Mark Wahlberg gives this monologue, he's rehearsing lines or just giving himself a pep talk or something. And he just stands up and his just entire dick is out.
Oh yeah, that's one of the parts that I've seen.
Oh okay, yeah. So that's the very last scene, and I was watching it in my room, and I had my bedroom door open, and my brother was walking by, as that scene was happening, and I was minimize. I was ah, and then I explained myself because he definitely saw the dick. So. Yeah, other than that, I liked it.
I'm sure he's seen the movie before.
I don't know if he has.
Well,
I was walked out of my room and tried to play it cool, and I was I just watched the end of Boogie Nights. And he just started laughing, and then he was he was oh, you haven't made it that far before, huh? And I was oh, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, I also rewatched the movie Place Beyond the Pines because the director of that movie has a new one out called Light Between Oceans, I believe, and I really want to see it. I've just been revisiting his older movies like Blue Valentine and now Place Beyond the Pines, and I really liked it. I mean, I've always really liked it. That was one of my favorite movies in high school, but yeah, that movie is really, really great. The soundtrack's great. The ending... the very last scene where that Bon Iver song starts playing is, one of the most effective songs in any soundtrack, in my opinion. But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. The soundtrack to that, it's funny that you mentioned that, was done by Mike Patton, who was in Faith No More, and Mr. Bungle, and Fantomas, and Tomahawk, and does all these really avant-garde kind of songs and things like that, whereas this was, I think, kind of like his first sort of straightforward soundtrack kind of thing, which is really good if you can find it.
Yeah.
But the vinyl's limited to 3,000 copies, so you might pay a little extra for that. But
Damn.
yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the movie itself. I thought the first two parts were stronger than the third part. I think the third part just kind of definitely downhill after, I think, the Bradley Cooper part. For me, at least.
Yeah.
I thought the first two were good, and then the second, or the last part, kind of was its own sort of movie, kind of, as opposed to like the first two. There is some linkage between the parts altogether, but I thought the third part was kind of disjointed against the whole thing. But that's just me.
I find from the people that I talk to about this movie, a lot of people definitely gravitate more towards the beginning part with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
People just seem to be very captivated by Ryan Gosling and anything that he's in, which
he's dreamy.
He is. No, I mean, he is, and he's a really, really great actor. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I thought that the Bradley Cooper part was the part that I cared about the least. I really, really liked the last part with their sons. And maybe it's just because I'm younger, and because when I first saw this movie, I was like around the age that they were.
Right.
But I also just really liked seeing consequences of their dad's actions relaying onto their generation. And
right, yeah.
I just thought it was like, there were like a few parallels between like the sons and the dads, and I really liked seeing it and taking note of it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just a huge fan of that director in general.
Well, would you like to speak about your top three?
Yes, I would. Let's move on. Okay, so these are not in any particular order, but I actually had made like a list of all my favorite movies, or at least like a bunch of my favorite movies, and these are the ones that kind of overlapped into different genres. First, I'm going to talk about Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay.
This movie it's strictly sentimentality for me, because I spent a lot of time watching this at my grandma's house on VHS as a young kid with my older brothers, and it was one of those movies for me and my brothers that it actually portrayed like kids going through a divorce and like how the parents were dealing with the divorce and everything, and I think that that's really important to include in some movies.
Right.
It's something that people have to go through, unfortunately. But I actually rewatched it a couple nights ago, and the amount of just like ridiculousness in the movie was just so, I just still loved it all, like even though it was so unbelievable. Like in the beginning there is like Robin Williams was picking up the kids from school, and it was like the son's birthday. Mm-hmm. And so the kid's like, oh, like I'm not supposed to have a birthday party because like my grades aren't good. And Robin Williams is like, well, your mom's not going to be home for 4 hours. And so they invite like the entire school to the house and have like this whole like petting zoo, have all this stuff going on, as if that's only going to last like 4 hours. It was
Where
also,
are you going to find that on short notice?
Yeah.
And then have them out. Like, I need you to get some pet goats.
Yeah.
For 2 hours, and then we gotta clean up.
And yeah, and it's like, that was like my dream birthday party as a kid too. Even the part where like the horse just walks across the entire house and like eats the birthday cake and everything. I don't know. I just loved it. And the movie was very like introductory to Robin Williams' humor for me. It was one of the first movies besides Aladdin that I've ever seen him in, and I have like a really soft spot for Robin Williams, and I just think he's like one of the most amazing people to like ever grace our earth. So any movie that he's in, I'm just always down to watch all the time, except for The Night Listener. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have not.
Okay, you don't. Sally Field was also fabulous in it, but overall it was cool to see the transformation. It was a very good display of the range of Robin Williams with all his impressions and everything that he can do, voice work wise. And I also had a crush on the son growing up. But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, though, the whole movie is about just how badly that dad wants to see his children and wants to be a part of their lives. And although it's like very humorous, the extremes that he goes through, I mean, it's all in like good intentions, which I just really loved.
A lot of movies, like you were just saying, have a problem walking the tightrope between drama and comedy. They always want to do one more than the other, and it always ends up being lopsided, where it's a funny movie with slight problems throughout the whole movie, and then the last 15 minutes is time to get serious, you know? And
Right.
to me, that just seems kind of lopsided for a movie, but Mrs. Doubtfire seems to handle that pretty well.
I do think that they handled it really well, and they also, the whole thing was funny, but there's also just like parts that it literally just showed growth, like mostly
Right.
with Robin Williams' character, because you know they got a divorce because he was messy, because he didn't take anything seriously, and then he had to like move out and be on his own for the first time, and I think they were married 14 years or something. I remember them saying that in the movie a lot. And he, you know, moved into an apartment and was a total slob, and then by the end of the movie he like knew how to take care of himself and like knew how to do this and got like a job and was actually able to hang on to it and everything. So there's just like all around a lot of really good things to pick up, a lot of positive things to pick up from that movie, even though it's centered around divorce, which like can be very, very ugly for both
True.
the parents and children. So yeah, not to get like super deep about Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, buzzkill.
Yeah. Okay, the next movie I'm going to talk about is The Social Network, and this was really hard for me to pick because I knew that I wanted to include a David Fincher movie because David Fincher is my favorite director, but picking which one by him I wanted to talk about was really, really difficult. But I chose The Social Network. I had seen other movies by David Fincher before I saw this, of course. Like, I definitely saw Fight Club and Seven, and I think Panic Room even before I saw Social Network. But when this movie came out in theaters, I was a sophomore in high school, and I went and saw it, and I walked out of that movie, and I was just like, who is responsible for this?
Uh-huh.
I was just like, holy shit, this was, like, so good. I actually ended up seeing it twice in theaters, and I got it on DVD as like a Valentine's Day gift. I don't know, David Fincher has such a way of depicting isolated characters, like even when they're in rooms surrounded by other people. Specifically in the deposition scenes with Mark Zuckerberg, who was played by Jesse Eisenberg. This character was super unfriendly and super just like didn't really have much social skills or whatever, but it was very like into the mind, where at some points you would just see him lost in thought and you just like can't help but like try to relate or like try to sympathize or even empathize with him. This movie was also really introductory for me to Aaron Sorkin's work, who I'm a big fan of Aaron Sorkin. Mostly just this movie and his work on The Newsroom are like the two standout things by him, but I just love the dialogue. He's always very witty. He always writes females really well, which I appreciate. The beginning scene of the movie is Mark and a girl sitting in a bar. The girl's name is Erica. And they're just sitting in a bar and trying to have a conversation, and it's so fast-paced and so like you can just see her getting more and more annoyed that she ends up just dumping him in the bar. And it was just, I don't know, the whole thing was just so well done. I actually watched a commentary of the movie a few years ago, and actually David Fincher shot that scene 99 times to get it the right way, which I don't even know how many hours that would even translate to, but it just, I don't know, it shows the like precision of both the writing and the direction, in my opinion. Also, just like a bigger picture type of thing, I'm 21 years old, and the rise of social media started when I was in maybe 5th grade. I was in middle school when MySpace was huge, and then when I got to high school, Facebook became less exclusive, but was just like this very new and exciting thing for a lot of young people. And I am still somebody who is very much connected to social media, and I'm always sharing stuff on social media and seeing like the relevancy there. And it's not just for me, it's for a lot of young people, and even not just young people, just everywhere around the world, because it's international now. It's cool to see how it got started and the type of person who just created this in his dorm room at Harvard and ended up dropping out of Harvard.
Right. This is a movie that I have not seen yet. I had a Facebook account for a really long time, and then it became too much of a chore where I would log on, and I try to keep out of politics. You have people that you went to high school with that just start spouting the complete opposite of what you believe as far as politics, and it just made me delete my account and just kind of left a really bad taste in my mouth. You know, I had a MySpace account. I think I still do. I haven't shut it down or anything, but I haven't logged in many moons. I think the only social media thing that I have is Instagram. I don't have Twitter or Facebook or anything like that.
Right.
But I also think that a lot of social media gives platform to people to say a lot of things that they don't understand about. It muddies the waters a lot, unfortunately, which with the technology that we have so much information at our fingertips, and people are just too lazy. Facebook, to me, is a nice little content aggregator for people to be completely misinformed.
I agree with that for the most part, and I do think that in certain aspects it's a kind of a curse because it is so big and people just absorb
Right.
so much information from social media. But on the other hand, it's definitely a blessing because it has created like a global village where something happens in Europe or in Asia and they can just tweet about it, and then America or
Right.
people in America know about it, and action can be taken or not. But I mean, there's so many other issues tied in with that as far as like awareness and not knowing what's real and what's fake, and also the fact that like some things aren't even reported in America. Like there's so much
Yeah,
happening that like
that's
we don't
true.
even know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a blessing and a curse because it is a platform for anyone to just go on and say whatever the hell they want, and that is a
Exactly.
bit scary. I had to unfollow my own dad from Facebook because of all the like Donald Trump memes and
Right, yeah.
like corruption, like Hillary's like so corrupt. Like I just unfollowed him from Facebook just because I was so sick of it. But
Yeah, election cycles on social media,
ugh.
it just makes you want to poke your eyes out
Yeah.
with a trident or something.
Yeah.
But no, it does have its uses, and I believe that that's what Mark Zuckerberg wanted to do initially with it. But
Yeah.
humanity just takes every opportunity to derp everything up.
Yeah.
And social media is not immune to being derped up by humanity.
Yeah, I mean,
Derped up is the new thing.
get derped.
Derp it up. What is your third movie? Unless you want to
Right.
talk about anything else about The Social Network, or
Oh,
David
no.
Fincher, or Jesse Eisenberg.
I mean,
or-
I'm probably going to end up talking about David Fincher a lot more in the duration of our entire podcast existing. I just love him.
I would also-
I'm really, really in love with him.
I would also like to point out the irony irony of two people on a podcast complaining about social media.
Oh, yeah.
And it's people saying their opinion. Yeah, we know what we're doing.
Yeah, we are self-aware. Do
Yeah,
not attack
it's
us.
not like, oh, these guys are spouting opinions right now. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So yeah.
Well, anyway,
Back to-
smooth segue
That's-
into my third movie.
Yeah. We're still learning how to segue and things like that.
Yeah.
We're editing out all the ums and uhs and
Oh yeah, I
ers
go
and
through and
likes.
edit at least 5 minutes of ums and uhs and likes and dead silence every time we record. So, yeah, it's fun though. We're having fun. It's a learning experience. We're
It's a little peek behind the curtain for you.
good. Yeah, behind the scenes look.
Yeah. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah. Okay, but my third movie is actually Goodfellas, and this is it may be another sentimentality thing for me, but I also just genuinely believe that this is one of the best mob movies ever made,
This is true.
if not the best, and I think it's really representative of the 90s, and I don't know, it's great. I have seen an unreal amount of mob movies. My grandparents are from Sicily. When I was in middle school, I was like stuck at their house for a week, and we watched all 3 Godfather movies, and my grandparents were just like, this is so relatable. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But yeah, they also just like worship anything with Robert De Niro in it. I can't tell you how many times I've even seen like The Bronx Tale.
Oh, do they like little Fockers and things like that too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They
Analyze this.
they also they have it
I'm
they have it
sure.
on VHS. I'm not even remotely kidding. I had to watch The Intern with them because they loved it. They loved him so much.
What were their thoughts on Dirty Grandpa?
I don't think they saw that one. I'm
lost.
kind of okay with that, though. But yeah, I also just love the witty Italian representation, especially in the scene with Henry and Karen's wedding, where they're going around and like introducing Karen to all of his family members, and everyone's named like Joe or Millie and everything. It's just, it's so spot on and it's so crazy. I
love the scene at the wedding reception where there's all these gangsters in line just with envelopes just waiting to hand them cash. And there's just like gangsters as far as the eye can see. Just envelopes. Just handing it over.
Yeah.
Here you go.
It's also just a very like visually striking movie too. That was definitely the one that made me aware of Scorsese's talent, I think.
The scene where he walks through the restaurant, the one continuous shot, is amazing.
Also the part where Karen was like on top of him on the bed pointing a gun at him, and he like, oh my god, and he like tackles her to the ground. That was an awesome scene too. A bit scary to watch as a woman, but whatever.
Yeah.
Also, the main actors that are involved, Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, and Lorraine Bracco, I think those are like definitely the best performances of their careers, or at least like one of them. Especially Ray Liotta. I don't really like him in other movies because he just kind of always gets the shit beat out of him. And
he always plays like crooked cop or bad gangster. Not bad gangster like evil, bad like not good at it. Kinda. Or he definitely has his little area of expertise carved out for him.
Right.
And he just plays usually unlikable characters, which I guess kind of transfers over into real life. I guess you kind of see him and sometimes you're just like, oh. But but I think he's a really good actor, especially in this movie.
Oh yeah.
The best scene to me in this movie, besides the continuous shot through the restaurant, I love the scene where they have where after Joe Pesci kills the guy who, makes fun of him for him used to be a shoe shine boy.
Yeah.
And then they go to his mom's house at like 2 a.m. to get something to kind of hack him up. And his mom's awake and she just makes him dinner out of nowhere. And she's got that painting. I want that painting in my house with the two dogs. One goes this way, one goes that way. And this guy right here, he's like, what do you want from me?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a great scene. And I believe a lot of it was ad-libbed.
Really?
I think is it Scorsese's mom that lady is?
I'm not sure.
I believe it is.
I actually haven't heard that before.
Yeah, and it's somebody's mom. I want to say it's Martin Scorsese's mom.
Yeah.
But I can look it up real quick.
And if I remember correctly, Lorraine Bracco won an Oscar for her performance in this movie, which I think is super cool. And I was reading about the movie last night, and I was on the IMDb page and reading what other people were saying about it, just to see different aspects of what other people appreciate about this one movie is always very interesting to me. And I swear, everyone is just like, this movie's a masterpiece, and in one word, if I were to describe this movie, it would be like perfection. It's great. And actually, I had definitely seen this movie growing up, but I had to watch it in high school. I was in a 2-year film class in high school with the program that I was in, and one of the movies we watched in class was Goodfellas, and it was, I mean, we had to watch it in parts because our classes were only like 48 minutes or something like that, but I had to watch it and I had to write about like why it was so great. And I mean,
seems like a pretty easy assignment.
Yeah, it was like 2 pages. I was like, okay, I got this. And yeah, but that was like the first time that I knew what cocaine was, and I knew what like.
Well, you're from Florida. You should know what cocaine is.
Shut the fuck up. But yeah, I don't know. I was the most conscious about like how great that movie was that time watching it, and since then I probably have rewatched it at least 3 times, which that's a lot for me considering that's a really long movie.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just so well written too. It takes place over like 3 decades, and it's so like with Henry, you see him go from like this being a mob man is like so compelling and so interesting and so great, and here's me climbing to the top, and then it's like spiral out of control,
Yeah,
and it
you have
becomes
nowhere
this
to
like
go once you're at the top.
exactly, and then it's like this like fucked up nightmare of him just trying to like undo what he's done almost, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that development alone is like one of the best things to see in a movie too. And Scorsese does a really good job in his other movies of showing that as well, especially like Wolf of Wall Street. So, was there anything else you wanted to say about it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think every actor in that movie did a really good job, and that definitely was Scorsese's mom. I just checked it out.
Really?
Yeah, it was. And I think they didn't even give her a script. They were just like, go be you and interact with these guys. You know, this guy's your son, Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
He's your son. Deal with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Deal with it.
And he's here, and he's got, you know, he needs a knife to cut a hoof off a deer that he hit.
Joe
Quote,
Pesci
unquote.
is also another like very noteworthy actor. This is a small, loud Italian man.
Yeah.
He was very captivating in any scene, just because he was always yelling. But it was, I don't know.
Yeah, his character was great. And
Yeah.
the characters are so good that there was a spoof of them with Animaniacs, with the Good Feathers, all the pigeons that were kind of like mobbed up, and they all had the same voices as Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro and Ray Liotta. They kind of had all these mob adventures for pigeons, and that's a movie for kids, or you know, that's a cartoon for kids.
Oh my god.
Not so. I guess that's more for the parents of the kids.
Yeah.
Good Feathers. Look them up if you don't know.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that. I think I've tweeted more than once that I want a Lego movie version of Goodfellas.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
I'm so surprised. This is an idea for all of you McFarlane toys. There's never been, to my knowledge, Godfather action figures.
Yeah.
You know, there's action figures for anything. It could be Funko Reaction. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Put that out. Godfather or Goodfellas, whatever. They're all movies.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about the right movie.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. I'm done. Forever.
Alright, I guess we're gonna go shut the fuck up now.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
But-
notes and not say the wrong movie.
But yeah, that about wraps it up. I'm really happy I had the challenge of having to pick 3 of my top favorite movies, but I also think that if you came back to me next week, I would probably give you 3 different ones. But thank you for listening anyway. I hope that you enjoy what you're hearing. If you do enjoy what you're hearing, you should check us out on social media that we spent a lot of time complaining about.
Mostly me.
Yeah. But we are on Instagram at Filmspeak. We are on Twitter at FilmspeakPod. And we do have a Facebook page. It's just called Filmspeak. You should also subscribe to us on YouTube because our podcast episodes as well as videos that we post are going to be on there as well. But besides that, my advertisement is over. And I hope you have a great day.
I hope you have a good day too.
Bye.
Bye.